Happy morning, everyone. Welcome to this inspiring coffee talk. And Morna, I'm so glad to have you today. Yeah,
Happy to be here, Joyce.
yes. And let me share with you about this thing. Mona, I believe that you still remember when we actually meet up, right?
Yes.
Last year, mid of last year. And one of our mutual friend introduced me to your community, which is, I love it so much.
Oh, thanks, Joyce. Yeah, it makes me so happy to be able to include women from all over the world. I'm glad you're there.
Right now, that's what we are in a different time zone right now. So let me introduce Morna to you first before we start our conversation. Okay, Morna, she is the CEO and the founder of Revolutionary Women's Global, and a global ecosystem, community, and training ground that connects, empowers, and trains women across the planet, working to create the organizations, businesses, and movements of the future.
Mm-hmm.
Serial founder and entrepreneur with 2 decades of experience building her own global businesses alongside with her co-founding nonprofits, social enterprises, and multiple transformational projects. Mona has designed and led hundreds of transformational learning events for thousands of the female leadership and entrepreneurs from all across the planet. We are in a different side of the planet, but we are still in together thanks to the virtual one. So Mona believes so much that women are the change-making force of our time. Her work empowers female agents of change, innovators, and entrepreneurs to fully show up and take courageous action and become the change they wish to see in the world. Welcome, Mona.
Thanks, Joyce. Oh, I sound really cool. I like listening to myself. Thank you.
Yeah, we have also someone joining us in Zoom for your information, Mona. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wait, what? This is amazing.
Questions to ask you. Yeah. All right. So as I told you just now, I really love with your community. I'm really curious. This is something that I never really asked you before. Like, what makes you want to start this Revolutionary Women Global? And like, it's like since when you start this, and what makes you want to start that?
What made me want to start it? Well, firstly, hi everyone. Hi folks who are watching. Yes, I am in a different time zone. I'm in BC, Canada, so a different day as well for your viewers in Malaysia. Yeah, still Friday night here for me. What made me want to start this? Well, it's so interesting when you ask that question, because I think that I've really been kind of working on this almost my whole life. But oftentimes we don't realize what we're actually doing. How it really started was after I had my first child. When I was pregnant with my first child, this is 20 years ago now, I decided that I didn't want to go and work for somebody else after she was born. I wanted to create my own schedule. And that's when the first time I started my own business. And I was lucky. My first daughter was born in Canada, where you get to stay home for a whole year. So that was wonderful. We moved back to New Zealand, and I joined a really big organization led by women called the New Zealand Play Centre Movement. It's a very large organization that supports women and children. And so I ended up, when I started my business and I was a part of that organization, I ended up just working with women. And over the time, 15 years before I started this current company right now, Revolutionary Women Global, I always had a training element to my work. And it just is kind of accidental, Joyce, that I ended up working with women. But I ended up doing a lot of traveling, working with women in a lot of different places. And especially when I was working with women in circle, so I do a lot of my work with women sitting in circles, I noticed some women really developing in a different way. And I'm an adult development geek. That's my my professional education background is in adult development, and I spent 10 years teaching in a diploma program on how adults learn and grow. And so I'm really fascinated by our potential to grow as adults. And I noticed these changes in the women that I was working with. And so I went to find out why. And I came across a model, and this is where I get to answer your question. I came across a model from Harvard University that shows how we develop as adults. And I became obsessed with it because, firstly, it matched what I was seeing. But the second part is what the model showed is that only a tiny percentage of people on our planet are fit for purpose right now, have developed enough to be able to handle the kinds of issues that we're facing as a species. And when I looked at the percentage and when I looked at the development markers of these people, it was women to me, because what this model talks about is emotional development, harnessing our emotions, creative thinking, innovation, but especially the emotional part. Women have such a head start here, and also it's something that we've been demonized for. Being too emotional. But this is our superpower. These emotions are our superpower. The way we feel is our superpower. So that's a long way of saying about 5 years ago, I started Revolutionary Woman. I actually started with a program called Revolutionary Woman. And then about 3 years ago, I decided that I really wanted to make an impact in more places around the world. Because we can do this. We can
virtual.
We can be virtual. And what I know for sure, Joyce, is that it's going to take all of us across the planet really coming together to figure out how we solve the problems that we're facing as a species. And I'm going to say something really controversial straight away.
Go ahead.
I think that so many of the problems we're facing right now were created by men, and created by the ways that men lead. I mean, we can only need to look at what's happening in Russia and Ukraine right now. It's horrible and it's heartbreaking, and there is no way that women would lead in that way. We wouldn't have created a planet filled with nuclear weapons.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We wouldn't. We want to heal.
Yeah.
So that's why I started Revolutionary Woman Global, because it feels really urgent that women step into leadership right now.
Yes. That's why we are, when I read through the news, seeing the photos, it's so heartbreaking to see how the world is so broken right now. It's, I don't know what to say, but it's like, so even though I'm from another part, but we send all the prayers to them and help whatever way that we can, definitely. So yeah, continue.
Well, which is I was thinking, which is so important, because you said even though we're in different countries, so I think so much more now we're one planet and we're an interconnected species, and we have to stop thinking about ourselves as being so separate and different, and I think that, and it's another one of the reasons why I started more of a global organization, because I especially want to connect women who think differently, who have different ideas, who look different, who have different religions, different backgrounds, because when we bring all of that magical difference together, we create something amazing. Whereas I think, unfortunately, where we've gone wrong as a species is thinking that we're all different and demonizing each other. Okay, maybe I'm getting too deep too quick, but ask me the next question.
So much when we talk about this, because we actually sit down in virtual and we tap deeper into a different cultural, what I'm experienced right here in Malaysia, and from your side too. It's like, and we found we have something in common. You love tiger too.
Yeah.
I saw your profile picture with a tiger. I said, wow, I love it. This from our culture here, this year is the Tiger Year. So lovely. Okay.
That's my favorite year. Okay, back to you, Joyce.
Okay. I want to ask you this one is, I remember in one of our session, in our global table session, you asked this question, what could be possible if 1 million of diverse women, girls, or allies that comes together in a global table, in this global table of this revolutionary woman global. This really makes me think about the power of bringing all the global top leaders that coming here together, especially women. So this is the first ever time. Let me think about the power of, like, wow, 1 million of it. I remember you asked us to draw, the, it's like visualize it out and draw it out. And that's how I have this concept to design our poster with the global table with chairs around that. That's exactly what I draw it out. But this is in a different design world. So when I hand drawing it, it just with the stick man, stick women right around that. So this is something. And I love the idea you bring the diversity to the group. Can you share with us, like, wow, for me, I never thought about that before. Like, share with us, like, how you can have this big vision.
Yeah, I'd love to answer the question of why I have a big vision. Firstly, it's because it's something that is so intrinsic within me. I can't not do this. Do you have that experience, when you connect really into what you're here to do on the planet and you have that direct connection to it, and then you might try and run from it, but it will find you. It wakes you up in the middle of the night, right? Yes.
That's
yes.
Deep, I would say a deep sense of calling that it will come back again and again, like trigger you. Got to do this. You got to do this, or something like that.
That's right. That's right. And I really believe that. I think sometimes it's easy to feel helpless when we see how much pain and suffering there is on the planet and how much work there is to do. For me, I think this is how I direct those feelings of helplessness, by doing something. And why I have such a big vision is because I really believe that this is such an important moment that we're alive in as a species. Our planet is changing, and our planet is changing very rapidly. And from my perspective, my personal opinion is that we don't have leadership on our planet right now that is going to act in our best interests as a species, because there are other interests being acted upon, money, power, which is another reason why we need women leading, because when women lead, and it was really interesting. I want to get back to my vision, but I want to share something with you that my husband said to me at lunch today.
Fresh.
Fresh. This is fresh.
Yeah.
He said, I was talking about, basically I was saying to him how angry I felt at what was happening in Russia and Ukraine, that I was feeling so much anger that these weapons are able to be used and that we have no control. And then I said to him, I blame men. I blame you. He knows that I don't blame him directly. And we laughed. And then he gave me examples of violent female leaders, or females who have led in ways that, and he said, well, women are just as bad. Like, that's just not true. But it's just not true. And I think that there's often a confusion between women who are needing to lead in male dominant systems that we didn't create, because it's not just a case of getting more women into leadership. We have to create the organizations and the movements of the future as women would do it, with love and compassion and caring and giving back to our communities, making sure everyone's okay. I mean, that's what we do as women.
Yes.
We carry the species. Without us, there is no human race, so I don't think that, and I love my husband very much, and I love men very much, and I'm kind of joking when I'm demonizing men. Men have had their time to lead. Thank you so much. It's our turn to create something better. So this is why I have this vision, and there's several other reasons why I have the vision. One is it's possible. We have the technology to gather in this way.
Yes.
It's possible for us to do it. And we also really have to, and this is also my personal opinion, but it holds up in all of the work that I've done across the planet. We need everybody's different ways of thinking to come together. We need people from different religions, different races, different colors, different backgrounds, all of those things to come together, because it's no longer, I don't know what the political system is like in Malaysia, but for us here in Canada and in my home country in New Zealand, they elect a political party, that political party rules, but usually it leaves half the population behind because they didn't vote for that particular leadership. It feels old-fashioned to me now. I think that it really does. I think everybody has
everybody has I would say, to be seen and heard, that bring people together. That's why when you create this community, I love it so much, because you really make sure everyone being seen and heard. From my point of view, I feel like, yes, I love to share and being supported and around the place. And the conversation, not only that, I know that you want to connect us with people and also resources. So I'm I know that you have something deep inside your heart that you want to empower women in financial,
yes,
and the economic side.
yes.
So can you share more with us, like the why and the how that you bring this empowerment to the women, why you choose financial? For me, I am a wellness coach. Like a lot of people know that I empower women to take care of themselves, to take charge of their health. So for you really love to start with financial. That's really, really a great one. Share with us more.
Why? Well, because I think that there are lots of reasons, and it's interesting. I didn't have time to get the statistics for you before this call, but I was looking up before our chat the impacts of the pandemic on women across the planet. Women. There's several reasons why I believe economic empowerment is essential for women. Number one, right now we're not economically empowered, so women provide the most volunteer labor on the planet. We prop up the planet with our voluntary labor. We're the carers, we're the nurturers, which is beautiful. And I'm not saying that that's not what we should be doing. But there are so many women across the planet who don't have access to basic economic independence.
Yes.
And it's even more of a problem now as we head towards climate change across the planet, which is going to disproportionately affect women, especially women who are in poorer countries, poorer areas, where they have very limited economic means. But then also through my lens, because typically I'm working more with entrepreneurs, especially online entrepreneurs, women who are wanting to create transformation through teaching, coaching, leading, creating organizations. I also notice so many of those women don't have viable businesses that are able to support them financially. And I don't, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors in the online business world, and a lot of big promises, I think, that get made, make $1 million in 3 weeks. And I think I see many women with amazing potential who aren't being also economically empowered. Why is it so important? Because when women have money, we give it to our communities, we support local organizations, we create things, we spread our wealth. It is one of the reasons why there are fewer female billionaires, because they give their money away. And I don't. I think also I'm also really keen and interested in how we work together to solve these problems. So I don't know how to economically empower women in XYZ country. Or, well, let's say I don't know how to economically empower women in Malaysia, but you do. Shuhada does, And so I also really believe in creating communities where people's own, where local solutions are created for local problems. And which is one of the reasons why I think the global table is so important, because people can learn about what's working, what are people trying, and then we can come together. So, for example, I have another project right now in Greece. We have a project in Greece, and with my assistant, Tara, who is creating an eco-village, and she's trying to solve a problem that the Greek government can't solve, which is how to economically empower refugees. We have 65 million refugees on the planet right now. 65 non-citizens who have no access or means to even create a basic income for themselves because they're stateless. We probably have 70 million refugees now that half of the Ukraine has flooded. So I feel like I'm giving big, round the place answers to these questions, Joyce. But economic empowerment is important, because we then raise each other up.
It can be a very important tool once we have this financial. I would say the one that can set us as a tool for us to do more and help more people and support more women that definitely need our help especially at this point. So I especially love how you connect the resources, and then Tara as well. She's such
of course. Yeah.
yeah. So
also, Joyce, what's coming up for me is just thinking through the lens of you as a health coach as well. I think that once we have our basic financial needs sorted out and we have less stress around money and income, it's good for our health.
Yes.
And so I think we can bloom more, we have more potential. I'm not talking about creating, some organizations, especially in the entrepreneurship world, are like, right, everyone's going to be a millionaire. That's not what I'm interested in. I work with so many women that, we're talking whatever it means to be financially stable, first and foremost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before it can grow to the next level, it's at least the stability that can bring us to have more visibility as well. Whenever we want to do something, we're actually able to support ourselves financially, and then to those people around us that we love. Definitely is a good way to go. Morna, I always I would say admire you, how you actually show up yourself to be so positive, to be so inspired, because I believe that we all leaders, we want to, before we're able to inspire other people or influence other people, then we would love to influence ourselves.
Yes.
Right? Then it's like, how do you do that? I mean, like, before you're able to, you do all these things to help women, to rise us up. But I mean, before that, how you do to help?
How do I meet me? I love this question, Joyce. I love this question. Well, I do practice what I preach. excuse me, firstly, sometimes you meet teachers who are completely different to what they're 100%. I take my own medicine. You know what I mean? So, and what I'll say is that the reality is I have a lot of challenges in my life, and which makes me more determined because I understand what it really takes. I have a chronically ill child. I have a significant medical issue that I face that can impact my ability to work if I don't take care of it very carefully. I lost both of my parents in the last 2 years, and my brother. Yeah, thank you. And I don't say all of those things to. Why am I saying all of those things? I'm saying them because it really does take us putting our own health, our mental health, our physical health, and making it a priority. I faced a lot of challenging grief and being separated from my family. On a daily basis, I run my business alongside caring for someone. And so it means that I have to be very, very, very clear with my boundaries. I have to do my mindfulness practice. I must meditate. Like, these things aren't nice to do things. They're the things that they're just as important as putting the right clothes on to go to work. It just as important. And I think that I've really changed my relationship to self-care. I used to think that, okay, you do your job, you work 9 to 5, then if you've got time, you go to the gym or whatever. My whole life is self-care now. I've had to redesign how I work. So I couldn't do what I do without really supportive environment that I've created for myself. And the thing is, Joyce, when I don't do the things that I know I need to do, very disciplined as well, I can't do my job properly. I can't show up for other women. I can't, and so when I work with people, when the people who are in the dojo that I run, so I also run a leadership dojo, this is what we do together. We're really practicing who do we need to be to show up as the leaders that we need, and how are we going to commit to being more conscious in our lives. And so I take a lot of rest. I'm becoming even more disciplined about what I say yes and no to. I know my purpose. I strive to find clarity in what to do next, because you know what this is like. You start to meet people, there's so much to juggle. And so health is not a nice to have thing. It is just everything. It's everything. It's everything. Yeah.
Love the sentence talking about my whole life is self-care right now. It's like such a priority that you put the self-care is like top about the thing before other things can fall into place. And definitely one thing that I need to learn so much is saying no more often. It's never been easy. From a caring, loving, compassionate person to say no, sometimes it can feel so
heart-wrenching, so hard. Yes. Yeah.
But I need to do that in order to protect my own self first before I can help more people. And I found
right.
When we say yes to everything and we are overwhelmed ourselves as the people, the species, whatever, it's like until a point that we ourselves break down.
Yeah.
And it does not help anymore. So I said,
it's so true, Joyce. And I think, for one of the messages that I'd love the folks who might watch this to know is that, again, this could be controversial. We haven't created a world and a way of working that is suitable for us as a human species. We grossly overestimate our productivity. We're not robots. We're not robots. We're humans. We need rest. We need sleep. We need good food. We need sunshine. We were never designed to sit in a factory for 10 hours a day. And it's so awful what we've created for our people to do. And so one of the reasons why I didn't go back to a corporate job, why I didn't go back into the world of working, was because I wanted to create my own rules. I don't want to have to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning if I need to sleep and have rest. And it's not that I don't have a structure, but I now know that Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'm very productive. Fridays, I'm not. Mondays, I'm not. So why push it? I get way more done if I lean into my own rhythm.
Yes.
And I think just for folks who are in the corporate world, corporate leaders, we could do so much more to make those spaces human spaces.
Oh, that's so... when yesterday night, I just have a conversation with my sister about what she's in the corporate, and how the corporate leaders actually can help to bring more well-being to the employees, the staff. Because like you are mentioning that we are not robots, we are human species that we need rest. And they are like 9 to 5 working in the office and not so much allowed to wake up and walk around. Think about this. This is like insane.
This is insanity. That's crazy. That's just crazy.
You walk around, this means that you're not working. What? As long as I have my performance and my productivity.
Joyce, my husband laughs because I call the bathtub my second office. I have my best work ideas in the bath. This idea that work only happens when you're sitting glued to a computer is ridiculous. It's just not that way. And I think if I compare my productivity, and I use a tool called, I use 90 minutes. So when I do my work interval, it's always 90 minutes. And then I put those into my day. So maybe I might have 3 90-minute working periods.
Great.
And then at the beginning of the 90 minutes, I'm conscious about how I want to feel. I'm conscious about what I want to achieve. And I go for it. I get so much more done, and it's so much better quality than if I was sitting at what it's like. You force yourself to sit at your computer, your eyes go blurry, your brain doesn't work. Like,
that's why freedom.
Freedom.
We want to respect our own rhythm. That's why because of COVID, I see that a lot of people start to understand the flexibility that we actually can work from home with a different time that much more ingrained with our rhythm. So it's like we can be flexible to respect our own rhythm. Like what you say, Thursday and Wednesday is your most productive days. So by all means, go all out to do whatever we want to do. And Monday, maybe slow a little bit, or Friday, slow a little bit. It's fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. I remember when I used to work in big organizations and, going around and looking at people's computer screens and, lots of games.
People start to be with the games rather than real working time,
and people go crazy, and and they burn out, and which has such a massive cost on our healthcare systems, our workplaces. We and this is again why when we have more women in leadership roles, they create daycares in the office. They create more family-friendly environments, more family-friendly hours. I remember when I I wasn't in the corporate world once I had my children, but I still needed to do networking. And so much of that kind of thing is not family friendly, especially for women who maybe need to get home to a baby or a young child. There's so many things that we also have to start running our own companies. So, and hiring people. You know, if I think about my organization, I don't employ people, but I contract people. The reason I don't employ people is because I have people all over the world, and it's just a nightmare to try and employ people. But I have no interest in how many hours somebody worked. You know what I mean? It's like we're all grown-ups. We can figure it out. But I don't think, and again, I think it's that next level of trust in people. And the reality too, Joyce, is that with more digitized jobs, with more jobs that are going to be replaced by technology, which is something that we haven't been talking about recently because we talk about COVID and climate and, but we're still facing in this decade millions and millions and millions of jobs on the planet won't exist anymore, which I'll just say out loud should be good news. If we can empower people to lean into their purpose and to create lives around what they want to do, then it will be good news that robots are taking our jobs.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I love, especially it's like women, we all naturally we are more caring, lovely, and we have more compassion heart. And when we think from the perspective from our side, we create more is a loving, caring society. That's why even like this International Women's Day, right? Today is not, but this afternoon for my side, I was at celebration for the International Women's Day. We talk about the theme is break the bias. So much so that we think that a lot of gender bias or racist bias in around the world that we definitely want to break the silence. We want to speak it out and talk it out. And women, we have to talk it out. That's why I'm like, this morning I have you, and afternoon I have this break the bias session with around all the wonderful ladies. So, Morna, thank you so much for your wonderful sharing. And if the audience would love to check you out, where they actually can go?
Well, they can follow me on Facebook, follow Revolutionary Woman Global on Facebook, and they can go to revolutionarywoman.global and they'll find the global table there. And also my personal website. Joyce, what I'll do is, shall I just go and put links to all of this under the video?
I would say that you will send to me.
Okay.
I already know, definitely. If something that I haven't done yet, you send to me, I will post in the comment section below, and also my replay video in my blog. So that
great.
Right there, so people can actually check it out from there.
Amazing. What a lovely way to spend my Friday evening. Thank you so much, Joyce.
So I have this one to ask you is words of inspiration for our audience right now.
I just had a big sigh. Yeah. My word of inspiration is, this is it. This is your life. I do believe in past lives. I'll just say that out loud. But this is the very only time that you will exist in this form as you in the entire universe, from the moment the time began to the moment it finishes. Like, I want women listening or watching this to know that you're a miracle and you're unique and you're brilliant, and there's something inside you that only you can bring to the planet. And if you don't bring it, it won't ever occur again, because you're a unique expression as a human being. So do it. Take the risk. Do it. Whatever it is, do it.
Thank you so much. So lovely. And love what you do. Thank you so much what you do to the world and who you are, and really show up as your lovely one and a wonderful. Thank you again. And we were going to end the session right now. Thank you so much.
Bye,
And
everyone.
and I would love to hear from you. If you have any things that you give you aha or any things that you would love to share with us, write us in the comment section below. Thank you and see you next time. Bye.
Bye.